Here at OFM and Vespa, we don't try to take the complicated and make it simple because nature is complicated, biology is complicated. We take the complicated and make it doable in the context of your individual life so that you can reach your potential. What I'm here doing today is I'm simply making the case and connection for how the things you do in your daily life have a tremendous impact on your cellular fitness. And this is because fit cells are metabolically fit, metabolically flexible, and metabolically robust. Starting at the foundation of cellular fitness translates into overall fitness, health, and longevity. Hi there. Today we're going to talk about why metabolic freedom begins on a cellular level. And the goal of today's vlog is to help you make that mental connection, that aha light bulb moment on how your health and performance begin at that cellular level. Because without making this fundamental realization, you won't have that motivation and incentive to make change happen. Let's face it, change is hard. Now, this is crucial to understanding how optimizing fat metabolism works to achieve this optimal metabolic fitness on a cellular level and metabolic freedom for you. Starting at the foundation of cellular fitness translates into overall fitness, health, and longevity. Now, I'm not going to take a deep dive into the mitochondria, organelle, cytoplasm, cell wall fatty acid composition, receptor sites, etc. here. The yawn factor is way too high and really hard to apply directly in terms of your daily life. It's like I'm doing this 90-minute run at my aerobic heart rate zone so that my mitochondria can respire, or I'm taking my omega-3 fish oil to optimize my cell wall fatty acid compositional profile and ratio. You know, that's what happens sometimes. Not only is this kind of thing that loses most people, but if you're geeky or type A enough to buy into the science and marketing hype when this sort of science is touted, as often happens, trying to do things in this way is stressful, which in itself degrades your health and performance. What I'm here doing today is I'm simply making the case and connection for how the things you do in your daily life have a tremendous impact on your cellular fitness. And this is because fit cells are metabolically fit, metabolically flexible, and metabolically robust. This yields what I call metabolic freedom because your cells have an innate intelligence to free you up to simply be the best version of yourself rather than you consciously trying to be the best version of yourself and also have your cells be the best version of themselves. Now, how do we make this happen? By optimizing fat metabolism, which occurs in your cell's mitochondria. Once upon a time, the word mitochondria only existed in the vocabulary of those geeky kids in biology like me. Today, however, the word mitochondria is trending and, dare I say it, sexy. But I digress. The point of this blog post is your mitochondria love to burn fat through a pathway called beta oxidation. Now, while beta oxidation is a complex, multi-step process, especially when compared to burning glucose, it produces negligible oxidative stress, no lactate load, and a lot more ATP energy in a sustainable way, which virtually eliminates bonking. And there is more than just energy production to fat burning. You see, along the way to being metabolized as energy, your cells extract the proteins, peptides, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, etc., all bound up in those LDL cholesterols and long-chain fatty acids. On the other hand, the metabolism of glucose creates oxidative stress, lactate, while being virtually devoid of any nutritional benefits. Like McDonald's, the burning of glucose is easy, fast, and convenient. And this is something we humans have gotten addicted to. And it literally is a substance addiction in terms of the immediacy. You see, fat and cholesterol are relatively stable compounds, especially saturated fats, very stable. they are patient, so they can hang out and wait a while. Whereas glucose, it's the metabolic bully, cuts the front line, it has to be burned, or bad things happen like systemic inflammation and even death. On a cellular level, lots of glucose is the fight or flight, metabolize or die tiger leaping out of the bush. Now, if we can keep it to a 10 to 30 pound cub, it's cute, cuddly, and even good for us. But if we let our glucose intake develop into that literal 350 pound tiger, things eventually go very bad for our cells. Less urgent, but just as important, when your cells are being forced to burn glucose most of the time for a large portion of your energy needs, you not only get the oxidative stress and lactate from glycolysis, but those LDL cholesterols and long-chain fatty acids that are hanging out are not only just hanging out and being patient, but they're accumulating and backing up into your cardiovascular system and getting the blame for the cardiovascular disease. They're not to blame. If we want to add a COVID curveball, it's become quite obvious from the data. If one's cells are being forced to burn a lot of sugar, i.e. diabetic, then the risk factor for a poor COVID outcome is extremely high. And guess what? RNA replicates glycolytically, so the more disposed one's cells are to burning sugar, the easier it is for RNA to multiply. Unfortunately, most of the advice, techniques, and even science focus at the end result and work backwards only far enough to gain those myopic and often short-term results. We see LDL cholesterol and saturated fat in the veins and arteries, ergo, they must be the problem, right? But this myopic view is not limited to the sedentary. It can also be seen across the spectrum of sports, from NFL linemen to elite ultra-distance runners and Ironman pros, most of whom eventually wind up with injuries and serious health challenges when on a high-carbohydrate diet. Now, while you probably are not setting out on your personal journey to make the NFL draft or win Kona or Western States, you probably would like to be the fittest version of you can be over the long haul. In other words, you'd like to win the rat race. And guess what? We all can win the rat race if we are willing to do the basics. Get our physiology and metabolism back to the one evolution shaped us to have. That is, burning fat as our primary aerobic energy source and optimizing that ability. Get physically fit at the level and type of activities evolution shaped us for. And get out and interact with nature and take plenty of dedicated time away from technology and social media. Here at OFM and Vespa, we don't try to take the complicated and make it simple because nature is complicated, biology is complicated. We take the complicated and make it doable in the context of your individual life so that you can reach your potential.